Hello everyone, welcome back to the 5 Minute Tech channel. Today we will be talking about Angular and the path we can follow to learn Angular. So this is the first part in the complete series of Angular. Here we'll be doing a basic overview and how the setup is done so that we can develop an application on Angular. So to start, let's get started with the details. So what is this whole path about? So this path is about how Angular works in terms of it being a framework which helps the client-side application. So before we get into Angular, we need to understand how a web application works. So if you see here, when you are in the browser, you are basically in the client side. You have a request which calls the HTML, CSS and JavaScript, which you need for your browser to render the page, and you are able to see the different controls and all. So as soon as you do a event, you launch the website, or you click on a button, an HTTP GET request is pushed to the server side, that is the web server, and the web server redirects it as a request data with a URL encoding or get post data, cookies, etc. into a web application. The web application is responsible for fetching the data and in turn translates into an HTML to the web server, and the web server provides the HTTP response. Now while all this is happening, there are other static resources which is also shared through as a file and rendered to the web browser. These include your CSS, JavaScript and other image files. So that's the basic overview of how a web browser renders your data and the controls and all the images and all those things. So having covered this, we'll move on to the next step. So what is Angular? Angular is actually built on TypeScript. It's a development platform. What does the development platform means? It gives you a complete set of features through which you can develop your web application. It has a component-based framework wherein you can build a web application, scalable web application. You can add more components and all those things. We have well integrated libraries with a variety of features wherein you have routing, form management, client server communication and other areas which we'll be talking about. We also have Angular, which is designed in a way like it supports multiple features. So Angular is designed to make updating as straightforward as possible. So taking the advantage of latest development with minimal of effort, because you have a built-in system where you can add on top of it. And best of all, the Angular ecosystem consists of different set of people coming together and adding it to the source code, their source code and all. So that's how the benefit of Angular is. Moving on, so we will be embarking on a journey, Angular journey. We will start with the different steps. We will go through all these areas. We'll start with the setup, basic setup, which we will cover in this video, and we'll talk about the component in the next one, and then following that we will have template, interpolation and directives, data binding and pipes, nested component, followed by service and dependency injections. Now how the data is retrieved and how we can bind it, navigation and routing, and then different Angular modules, how we can configure different modules, and very importantly, how we can unit test our code and do a deployment of that code. And then there is a scope of you can continue with the learning. So to start with the setup, we will need a code editor. So if you are well versed with Visual Studio or Visual Code, you will get this easily. If you're not, then we can just use a Visual Code. You can easily go to Google and type Visual Code and you can get it. It's free and you can use it as it is. There's no license involved. We will use for runtime and package manager, we'll use Node.js and NPM. And we will start with, we'll be using command line interface, which Angular provides built in, and we can install it. So I will show you that as well, which is called Angular CLI. So we'll jump into the demo. So to start with, I will go ahead and launch the command prompt. To start with, we will get into the browser and I'll show you where you can download all the tools, and then we'll get into the individual installations. So we'll go to the browser. So if you see here, you can download your Visual Code from here, and you can install the latest version and use it. Similarly, you can go to the Node.js site and download it. And I can show you the Node version. Same way I have, once you install the Node, you will also get NPM together with it. So you don't need to separately install NPM. So you get the NPM version, you will have NPM version. Now to get started with your your actual application, you can launch your editor. In my case it is Visual Studio, and launch it. In this window you will go ahead and type into terminal. I'll be using an Angular CLI. Angular CLI also you can install from a basic command prompt, command line. And this command, you will be able to install it at the global level, and then you will be able to use the Angular CLI command line. So once your installation is complete, you will get a prompt like this, wherein you can go ahead and create a new project. So you can use a command line like ng new project management, or any project name which you want to start creating. You can use like ng new, and it will create all the related Angular files for you to consume. So I'll go ahead and press enter on this, and this will create a new project management application, Angular application. Now once the npm installation is complete, you can go ahead and open your project. You can again open the new terminal, and you can just go to the package.json and see how to run the application, which is start. So what you can do is npm run start, and once you do that, your application will be up and running. So as you can see right now, it's running on port 4200. You can capture this URL and you can launch it into your browser. So you can go ahead and launch this URL into your browser, and there is it is, your application is up and running. So that was all about this first part. In the next part we will be talking about the components and how we can integrate Angular components in the web application. Thanks for watching the video. If you like the video, please press subscribe and like the video. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.